Captain Marvel actress Brie Larson pretends she doesn't have time for her critics in a new interview. Well, this is a good article. This comes from Bounding Into Comics. I do have to question, though, why they would push this out. Well, let's look at the article it comes from, and then we'll talk about this here. Variety. It comes from Variety. The whole headline is, Brie Larson on creating a symbol with Captain Marvel. So what this article is doing, this is promoting her new film, Just Mercy. That's all this is for. It is to promote that. But Captain Marvel is infinitely more clickable. I wouldn't click on it, and I think you guys wouldn't either, if it was Brie Larson promotes Just Mercy. No. This is marketing 101. What is interesting, though, is that if you just read the headlines here, or read some of the little statements, I wish they would run this narrative, because I think some of her fans, some of her stalker fans, really need to understand that she's not sitting there being depressed and distressed because some YouTuber made a video saying she doesn't have a backside, right? Or that it is, as accurate as my Michael Burnham in action figure here. Focus! Oh no! And then we lost focus. It is about, this could easily be painted to look like Captain Marvel. I'm just saying. Now, that's not body shaming either. That's just stating a fact. And the fact that she doesn't pay attention to YouTubers and doesn't care should be enough to keep the fans who are so obsessed with her off of the backs of YouTubers, bullying, threatening, attacking, sending us death threats, etc., etc., etc. But this might not be entirely 1000% true. So let's read what John Trent has to say. And, shout out to Bounding Into Comics for being one of the good ones. Being one of the good, we always talk about these crappy little access media sort of sites. People like Variety who write stories to kiss the butts of the celebrities just so they get an interview with them. And you know what? That's great if that's your goal. If that is your goal in life, to be a starfucker, for lack of a better term, to be the dingleberry on the backside of a celebrity scraping for scraps, then you go right ahead and you kiss their butts and you tell them that, oh yeah, they're horrible trolls, they're man babies, blah, 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 blah. They're just sexist. That is great if that is your goal in life. Do not pretend that you are a credible journalist if that is your goal. If your entire goal is to get free passes to movies, to get free access into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, or get free admission and free interviews and access to these celebrities, then you are not a journalist. You're a starfucker, and you know it. So, we're going to get into this article. John Trent doesn't need to be. He's a rock star in his own right. Captain Marvel. Actress Brie Larson pretends she doesn't know about her critics in a new interview. While speaking with Variety, Larson answered a variety of leading comments from Access Media magazine. Access Media. Variety's Kate Arthur commented, "There are horrible comic fans who are rooting against it because a woman lead character, because of your politics. People made YouTube videos about wanting the movie to bomb." Actually, okay. Horrible comic fans. You mean people who would rather have Monica Rambeau? Those people who are, because that's what I kept saying. I'm like, why not Monica Rambeau? You've got this actress who's so, I don't care what some 40-year-old white dude has to say about A Wrinkle in Time was made for him. But guess what? Those 40-year-old white dudes, the Marvel movies are made for them. These are comic book movies for comic book nerds, and there's nothing wrong with having a movie made for you, right? And they could have given us, the Ms. Marvel, the sexy Ms. Marvel, with the mask and the thigh-high boots. They could have given us her. Because, damn it, the adult actress parody version is way more close to that than this Captain Marvel would ever be. Or you could have had Monica Rambeau and actually had some goddamn representation in your movies, right? You could have had an African-American woman play this character, and you have her. And she's adorable, and I've seen her, all I've seen of this woman playing a grown-up Monica Rambeau is what they've showed at Comic-Con, right? Oh, Comic-Con, it was great. She comes out, she's wearing these white short shorts, she's got a smile that lights up the room, like, that's Captain Marvel. Not this chick, right? But no, horrible comic book fans wanting the movie bomb. And you know what? We didn't want so much the movie to bomb. We were laughing at it. We were laughing at it and stunned at the fact that Rotten Tomatoes had to change the way the site functions to protect this movie. YouTube protected the algorithm. And, you know, I was laughing every 100,000 view video. I'm like, oh my God, this is gold. This is gold. It is nothing personal. This is business, lady. And she knows that. And her publicist knows that. And her publicist is the one who sets out and purchases and sets up a lot of these Twitter accounts that come around attacking YouTube channels. And then their dumb little idiot followers, you know, follow that and retweet, and they got to get in there, and they gotta call themselves Brie bots, and they call themselves stans, which means stalker fan, by the way. So maybe they should listen to the headline of this and say, oh yeah, she doesn't have time for her critics. She doesn't listen. Maybe they should listen to what their little precious Queen Brie is saying, because she's flat out telling them she does not listen to us on YouTube. You do not have to protect this woman from, you know, you don't have to protect her feelings from us. I'm nobody to her. She does not know we exist, according to what she says. But is that true or not? Let's look. Let's take a look. Larson responded, they did. Oh, I didn't even know. She added, I don't have time for it, you know. The things I have extra time to look at are really, am I eating healthy today? Am I drinking water? Am I meditating? Have I called my mom today? She would add, more recently, I guess maybe because of Captain Marvel, I've had a lot of journalists be like, how often did you Google yourself? I'm like, I've never Googled myself. She continued, I have genuinely never needed to look at the internet to explain to me who I am. I'm extremely committed to that in my day-to-day life. There is really nothing more pleasurable to me than observing my mind and interrogating myself. So this article will go against everybody who's like trying to protect this woman. And I think this is kind of hilarious that their little media blitz is backlashing against their own stans, their own stalker fans. It's kind of hilarious. And for everybody who's like, oh, you're obsessed with Brie Larson, you're obsessed. Yeah. Look at my history on YouTube, bitch. What have I been listening to? Oh, gee, Ghost all day. All day I've been listening to Ghost because they're good. And then I had a couple of little things like answering comments, work-related video things, stuff that I actually give a crap about. Oh, and Misfit songs. Yeah, of course, Misfit songs. Because, you know, Pete, my friend Pete, been watching a shit ton of Coin Pusher videos. I watched World Class Bullshitters. I watched Mary's video. I watched more of that. There's a lot of stuff that I'm actually obsessed with and I care about. Same thing with people like Brie. They aren't sitting there Googling themselves, and so you don't have to worry about that. Also, I was trying to look up Kate Arthur, and she kind of is. She did a 9-hour ago and a 5-hour ago article on this woman. And that's all this is. That's all this is. If this were about, hey, we're promoting Just Mercy, then nobody would click on it. But because you had to have little things like this, there are horrible comic fans who are rooting against it. Right? It's a hideous world. The comics war. This is what they say. Oh, I don't have time for it, you know. It sounds very healthy. Yeah. Oh, this is her entire thing. I've never Googled myself. I've genuinely never needed to look at the internet to explain who I am. There's really nothing more pleasurable to me than observing my mind and interrogating myself. She's a crazy person who talks to herself. Yay! It is a thing I've done since I was a child, and I will do it for as long as I can. I've also been super committed to having people in my life that believe if I start veering too far in that direction and I need to change something or work on something, they'll talk to me at dinner and be like, hey, I'm noticing this. I feel you should look at that. So I trust that and I trust my experience. Hey, Brie fans, we aren't affecting her. You don't have to defend her anymore. You really, really don't. When you have a mission and things you want to do, my time and energy are so limited, it just becomes clear as to what I want to spend it on, and that's just not what's of interest to me. I don't know how much I buy it, but, you know, we're going to go with the actual Access Media thing where they only, kiss her butt for an interview. That's it. You know, and there's people I would much rather interview than Brie Larson. You know, Tobias Forge, for example, I could sit there and talk about music with him all day, and I would be so starstruck, and I would be like, you know who Rocky Erickson is? You know this obscure song from Army of Lovers that they put on a Beavis and Butthead episode. But no, I'm clearly obsessed with some idiot actress that I don't care about. Yes, except it's a complete and utter lie. Larson knows full well about her critics. In fact, when promoting Captain Marvel, she addressed the very critics that Variety's Kate Arthur denigrates. Wow, I can read. I need to embiggen so I can see. I'm blind. I apologize, I'm blind. So yes, here, related, Captain Marvel's Brie Larson clarifies overwhelmingly white male comments and wants to bring more seats to the table. Do you remember that? She's like, no, it's not about taking away people's seats at the table. It's about just having more seats at the table. Because remember, she said there's overwhelmingly white people interviewing her at these press junkets. It's just all white dudes. Because she's the type of person who counts and pays attention to the color of people's skin. Like in Eastwood. Ooh, something like that. Fox 5's Kevin McCarthy brought up Larson's critics back in February surrounding her comments regarding the amount of white men who would be covering her on a press tour. At the time, Larson stated, "It's hard for me to comment on that because I don't know what the headlines were or what were said or what I said or what people think I said." She would add, "What I'm looking for is to bring more seats up to the table. No one's getting their chair taken away. There's not less seats at the table, just more seats at the table." I think, personally, I think she's going along with this meme of white dudes, right? It's this meme. I was at the Ghost concert. I'm telling the story again. I was out in the wild with some of these people, and they, they're young. They're like college age, under 30. They're like 20s to 30s. A lot of these people who have this obsession, this meme that they go to quickly, right? It's like acceptable prejudice, right? They do this because they don't have anything else to say, and the first thing that comes to their mind is, oh, it's all white dudes. Oh, it's all old white dudes' fault. And it's a meme. They don't really mean anything by it, I don't believe, right? I don't know, but the dangerous part of that is that dumb people do. Dumb people start hearing that, and it trickles down, and then you have people going nuts and saying, hey, we need to eat babies or stupid shit like that. Because dumb people, it snowballs, doesn't it? You get some message out that in people's heads. And you're always going to have some people who hear or believe it's the same thing when I talk to Star Wars fans about Star Trek, right? If I see somebody like my good friend Proper Jeremy, and you guys totally need to subscribe to him. He was not a big Star Trek fan, kind of not super aware of it, more in Star Wars camp. Nothing wrong with that. I certainly am wearing my ironic SJW Star Wars shirt today just to cover some of these topics. But I mean, he even said, hey, didn't the first season of TNG suck? That's what I've been hearing. Because you put that enough out there, of Star Trek The Next Generation. You put enough of it out there that, hey, white men are bad. White men are trolls. There's toxic fans. Then that's the problem. Then the meme becomes something legit. It becomes something people believe and put faith into. And that's when it's dangerous, that's when you have to correct some of this quote-unquote fake news, like white men are bad, right? And that's all this is. It's just a meme. Related, the Brie Larson Captain Marvel smiling controversy. See, that's fun too. I wanna read that, but we already read that. This wouldn't be the only time Larson addressed her critics while promoting Captain Marvel. Larson responded via her Instagram, who criticized her facial expression, specifically her lack of smiling. She would post a number of photoshopped images of other Marvel comic heroes such as Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Captain America, with the characters smiling during these intense moments. Larson would also address the criticism in an interview with Kevin Polawi. Larson told him, "That's just a depiction of the female experience. That's just what it's like. It doesn't really bother me that much when I saw it was just reaction because that's how it goes. But it bothered you enough to retweet it, right? Because everybody wants to be right. Everybody wants to clap back. Everybody wants to be right. It's why I respond to sometimes to my critics. Do I really care that they don't like me? No, I don't care that they don't like me, but I want to be right. Like everybody. We all do. And the only difference between me and Brie Larson is that Queen Mecha is right. Queen Mecha is God. I will listen to Queen Mecha. I will not doubt Queen Mecha, and little Brie Larson is just a poser queen. Larson has also acknowledged her critics when she decided to pile on one person who criticized Netflix Unicorn Store movie starring Brie Larson. She quoted the tweet, the brand who listed off her accomplishments in a foolhardily attempt to dismiss the criticism. Larson wrote Netflix. Yeah, and it has to say, oh, she's got 58 acting credits, 53 award noms, 2 writing credits, 2 short, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, credits don't mean you're any good, though. Credits don't mean people like you. And when you have this many credits, and you need something controversial like Captain Marvel, my gut tells me, possibly, I would probably put money on this. She is such an underwhelming and plain actress. She needed some sort of controversy so people would know her name. Whether she believes any of this stuff or not, who knows? But you gotta remember, at the end of the day, these people are paid to pretend. They're paid to lie to us on screen every day. They're paid big bucks to lie to us on screen every day. What makes you think they're not paid to make up something like even the 40-year-old white dude's thing? How do we know that she wasn't just scripted that and she did that for press so people would talk about it? That is what a lot of these people do, and I hate that that's how it is. But look at something like Batwoman, for example. The more people pile on that show, the more views it's getting. We're just kind of in that day and age because good isn't good enough right now. We're at this lull in entertainment where good isn't good enough. We have too much crap. Everything's costing way too much, and nobody can find and sift through the quality because the quality doesn't get talked about. And that's not what it's about at the end of the day. It's about turning a profit quickly for a lot of these companies. As for Googling herself, she literally did an entire bit of it with Wired promoting Captain Marvel. She begins the interview stating, "So this is the first time I've ever Googled myself. I didn't know it looked like this." I believe that might have been the first time she Googled herself. But what might be the most outstanding part of this interview with Variety is that Arthur told Larson, "Captain Marvel seems good for the world. Does it feel important in that way to you?" Larson responded, "Yeah, within reason. I've started paying attention, even in the last couple of days, because I've been trying to really interrogate and understand my experience better." Oh, I've been really trying to interrogate. Yes, blind. Learn to see me. All right, let me embiggen. This response came before Larson said she didn't have time for critics. I don't know about you, but if you're interrogating yourself to determine if Captain Marvel was good for the world, you'd probably look at the people criticizing yourself in the film alongside those praising it. Given her past behavior and actively engaging her critics through social media, it's safe to say Larson most definitely pays attention to her critics and even engages with them, as seen with the Netflix tweet posted in the photoshopped images to her Instagram. What do you make of her comments? Yeah, I don't know. But I think you could take this 2 ways. One way is to get the trolls off of people's backs like me, who are out there making an honest living, making fun of crazy crap we see on the internet in Hollywood. So that would be one way to get them off of my back. The other thing is just to call her out for being the lying liar that she already is, that we already know about. Just look at her own stunts. I am Mecha Random 42. This is a bit longer than I normally would have gone with, but man, this is a good one. I'll see you guys on the next video or live stream. Bye! Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button, and if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!